need this. Spoiler alert, this isn't gonna last. So, let's just get it out the way. Turned up the music, because, you know. Although, fair warning, Konami's probably gonna try to copyright strike this thing, so.
Monster, you don't belong in this world.
Wait,
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
Perhaps the same could be said of all religions.
Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
Wait, here it comes.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
There's the line. Okay, that's why we're here. We can move on now, right? I think let me get the, here we go. Nope, wrong song. There it is. Didn't say I was speedrunning it. Come on, I beat Castlevania 3. I can handle this, dude. Crap. Maria's gonna have to save me, isn't she? Get my butt kicked. Get crap! This isn't gonna work. God, I'm not even hitting him in the head. God. Maria's gonna have to save me. Come on, you bastard. Didn't even get it right. Still haven't played this game in a decade, have you? No, I haven't played this game in a decade. How can you tell? For crying out loud. Yeah, Maria's gonna have to save me. Whatever he said. Here we go. Ah! Yeah, what she said. Yeah. Which reminds me, I need to play a Castlevania. Where's my Dracula? Yeah, so I got the PSP version of Dracula X lying around here somewhere. I'll dig it out. Alright, let's finish this. It's nonsense. It's already better than that Netflix miniseries, am I right? Yeah. Yeah. It's already a better game than Simon's Quest. We're not gonna have that conversation. Yeah, this song. I can't skip it. No, I can't skip it. Okay, so as I was saying, this is actually a game I got. I want to say this is the first game I purchased when I purchased my PlayStation 1 back in the 1990s. In fact, this is one of those games like Bayonetta. It was like, okay, as soon as I get this console, I'm gonna get this game. Now, unlike Bayonetta, I actually ended up liking this game. But this is a game I actually played after Phantom 2040 on the Super NES. So while I liked it a lot, I had to be honest and say I was kind of wishing the game were more difficult. In fact, I think it's safe to say this game doesn't really get difficult till about halfway through. And by halfway through, I mean like maybe about 5 or 6 hours later, the game starts to become challenging. But even then, I mean, if you're like me and you beat, Castlevania 3, this game isn't really challenging at all until you get to the inverted castle. Spoiler alert, there is a separate secret area of the game where the castle is inverted, with the mirror castle, whatever they call it. So at some point in the game, if you complete a certain act, not sure what the act is, you get the second half of the castle to open up, and it's below this castle, and it's harder. But as I said, the main problem with the game is that if you get a really good drop early in the game, which I actually might get, you can basically just bulldoze your way through the rest of the game without really taking any damage. Against most enemies, I mean, the bosses are hard, but this is not a game that you want to play if you're interested in that really sort of demanding Castlevania experience, like Castlevania 3. I think Castlevania, was it? The first Game Boy game, was it Circle of the Moon? The first Game Boy Advance game and Castlevania 3 are probably the hardest games in the series. Not including, of course, some of the ones people don't like. You see these big things right here? Super Bunny Hop already mentioned this. These big things you see early on, one hit takes them out. They're big and they're imposing, and they don't pose any threat to you, really. So they're just there to be blown up. So that's disappointing. But I'm gonna get abilities. This is an abilities. So basically, all the abilities I have right now, I'm not gonna get anything. Oh, there it is. Hadouken, which is, what is it? Down, down, forward, then forward. Executes that move. It's called Hellfire. Which is probably isn't going to do me much good because it just teleports me to the other side of the screen. See, everyone here is going to get one shot. Everyone here is just one shot away from death anyway, so I wouldn't even worry about that. Okay, so as soon as I lose my abilities, I'll go over the basics of the mechanics. But yeah, I'm gonna highly encourage you to to watch Super Bunny Hop's video. What is it, the critical close-up he did of this game? He did a decent job of explaining, you know, not only most of the game's mechanics, but a lot of its flaws in its design. But yeah, this is technically the first official Metroidvania game, which is to say it's a Metroid game that isn't just about, you know, linear stages. And it's not even a game about branching paths like Castlevania 3. But what really bothered me about this game, especially compared to Castlevania 3, which is actually the same thing that bothered me about Dracula, what was it? Rondo of Blood, Dracula X. So here's the abilities right here. I'm going to lose all my abilities right here. There are no other characters in this game other than Alucard, this guy. Which is fine if you're the kind of person who prefers to just mess around with different gear, because you get different gear in this game. You get different swords. I think you get a whip at some point. You get different magic spells. You get different skills. But you don't get different players. Castlevania 3 had the ability if you could choose one companion. You know, like in Ages of Mayhem these days. Like in Valis 3. Like in Little Samson. These were games where you can just switch characters at will. And in the case of... See, I lost my sword. In the case of Little Samson and Valis 3 and Castlevania 3, you can press a button and switch to a different character at completely different skills. Grant could jump higher than a regular character. He was faster, and he could climb walls. Alucard was in Castlevania 3. He could transform into a bat. And, of course, was it Sylpha the wizard? Yeah, Sylpha the sorceress. She had magic spells, had incredibly powerful magic spells, and she was about as fast as Grant. She's faster than, you know, the main character. But she was weaker. She took more damage. That was the same problem with Grant, but I'll explain that a bit later. Again, I don't have any abilities yet, so until I get my first weapon, I'm just going to keep punching people. So that was the abilities I was talking about. Gosh darn it. Well, I leveled up, so that's good. Okay, I got a sword. Okay. Press select. Good. Okay. Equip. With the sprite in my right hand, etc. and so forth. With the mic in my left hand. I don't have any other... Okay, that's enough. That's all I need. RB allows you to page up or down, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay. System. Button settings. Okay, the basics. Right hand's the X button. Left hand's the B button. Special attacks with the Y button. Jumping is the A button. If you have the ability to... if you gain this skill where you can transform into a wolf, you use the right trigger. Mist, again, if you gain the skill to do that, you press the LB button. And when you gain the skill to become a bat, you press the RB button for that. We'll get that eventually, don't worry. Window color, not going to worry about that. It was great if you're colorblind, I guess. Why is the sound in mono? Why would anyone ever want any music in this game to be in mono? Well, you know how it is. Back in the day, you hooked up to a CRT. But nowadays, pretty much every TV has stereo, right? In the old days, you paid for that. Alright. Oh yeah, I'll explain what that blue bar is at the top of the screen later, because it's been refilled. Okay, so press X for my short sword attack. Do I have my Hellfire? Nope. And why do I mention the Hellfire? For instance, how to play, etc. and so forth. Familiars allow you to learn those skills, like the wolf and the mist and the bat skill I just mentioned. So if you gain control of familiars, you'll get the ability to do that. Master Magic spells a combination of directional inputs and button presses. For instance, up, down, down, forward, then forward to call forth Hellfire. But I'm pretty sure you need to unlock that first. Controls. Already established. The Bat Dash. Yeah, it's like a Soul of Bat, yeah. Oh, the map. Forgot about the map. Just a second. Okay, so press the right trigger. Excuse me, the left trigger for the map. Okay. Feels weird to play this on an Xbox, doesn't it? Instead of a PS3. Okay, well, while we're here... We already went there. Okay, so if I go down, it's going to wind up on the bottom floor again, so I'll worry about that later. Let me get to my first save point, huh? How about that? Because I can't just save anywhere, can I? You guys might remember the original Xbox disc. Excuse me, the original PS1 disc. Used traditional CD access. By the way, there's a speedrunners can break through this wall for some reason. It's a bug, or excuse me, it's a break. It's a sequence break. But anyway, we'll get to that later. This game was played on a regular CD-ROM. The music that you're listening to was originally in not Red Book audio, but a variation on it called XA, which is extended audio. For all intents and purposes. Extended audio was Red Book audio because it just streamed the music right off the disc. It had a slightly lower sample rate. It wasn't the 44K that traditional CD audio was. It was a slightly lower sample rate. But it was still better than FM because FM radio is like, what, 13K? It's like 32K in terms of the sample rate. XA audio was higher than that. So if you have a copy of the original disc, you can just use an extraction program to get all the music in this game extracted digitally right off the disc. And if you convert the sample rate to 44K, or if you resample it to 44K, then you can play it on it. You can use it and you can convert it to CD audio. You can't just put this in a CD player and listen to the music. Yeah, well, actually, there is an Easter egg about that. But yeah, the music in the original disc is streamed off the disc, but you have to extract it because it's not traditional Red Book audio. But yes, there is a single Red Book track in the original PS1 game, which most people have probably heard. So it's a warning saying, don't put this in a CD player. It's not a real CD, but you're probably going to listen to me, are you? And it plays a remix of some Castlevania song. I don't even remember. Okay, this is the trick. Again, this game uses these rooms to make sure that the user is actually playing the disc, because what the game allows you to do is play the game with a regular CD-ROM, and you need these access points to remind the user that, okay, if you're playing the game without the CD-ROM, please put it back in now because we need to prefetch some more data. Not going to need this obviously here because the entire game's being, well, it's in a different format. It's not a CD-ROM format. And I want to say this game was available on the Wii, the Virtual Console. So it probably converted all the music to like MP3s or something. But yeah, the original game had these CD-ROM, access. Crap. Had these CD-ROM access rooms. Limitation of the format. Those things will respawn in a second. Okay, other worthless data. Hide Curious. Okay. Music here is real good too. Equip. Let's equip that. You see on the right-hand side of the screen, it'll increase my defense a little bit. Again, it's not going to matter. In fact, I should probably unequip all my armor because I'm probably not going to need it. So let me just unequip that. I'm not going to need it. This is how I challenge myself because the game's too easy. So I'll just avoid all of the armor and such. This is a two-hand weapon that's going to lower my attack. See, the weapon I'm already carrying has these stats. And if I switch to the Red Rust, it will lower all my stats to 7. Yeah. So I guess this is for people who couldn't find the regular sword. It's a two-handed sword anyway, so there's no reason for me to use it. At any rate, we can go back to business. Okay, let's get out of here. I always loved this song. Was it Michiru Yamane? I think her name was Michiru. There might have been more than one musician, but I believe she's the primary musician on this game. I'll double check. And don't sass me for not having Wikipedia up on playing this game. This is a real-time stream. Don't sass me for real-time content. There will be other videos of this game later that have scripted content, and those will be more deeply researched. But not this stuff. Wait a minute. I can break that candle, can't I? Yep. Sure, that was driving you guys nuts. Okay, there is a shield in this game, but I almost never use it, except maybe against bosses. It increases my defense by 1. Yay. And if I wave it high curious, see? And what button do I press? A? Yeah, press... Yeah, A, B, excuse me, for the shield. Which I'm probably never going to use, so... And again, I think I was mentioning the music earlier, because it's cheating to say that they're using CD audio, because it's, you know, it's synthesized. They just, you know, they just recorded it as Redbook, and then downsampled it to XA. So if the game could have used Redbook audio, but I think this gave them more room. Whoops. Just a second. There we go. Well, for crying out... Oh, sorry, hold on. Let me press up. Up doesn't work. This guy standing on something? Oh, wait. I don't know what's going on. Just a second. Am I going down or up? Guess I'm going up. We're gonna keep going up till we get to a save point. I always hated that about this game, actually. I'm trying to remember what the save points are. Oh yeah, I can backdash. Which is the quickest way to travel in this game, apparently. Now again, look at this. In a game like Castlevania 1 or 3, you know, this entire area would be swarming with, like, Medusa heads. Which show up later in the game. In fact, I think they're over on the far eastern side of the... They're on the far eastern side of the castle, as I recall. The far right side, you know, the long wall. We'll get to that later. But even the Medusa heads in this game aren't that intimidating. They just aren't... In other words, unlike Circle of the Moon and unlike Castlevania 3, the enemies aren't that deviously placed. So this is a castle to be explored, but it's not necessarily a place to be feared. There are very few places in this game you can't go because the enemies are too hard. Well, if you're... You know, I guess if you're a slightly above average player. I guess if you're not comfortable with traditional, you know, platform games, maybe that might be intimidating. Resistance to lightning. Nah, I'm not gonna worry about that. So, as I go along, I might take a couple of cheap hits, but again, the game really isn't that difficult. And you can't adjust the difficulty level until you beat the game, as I recall. I'll double check that. But I want to say there's a harder mode once you complete the game. I got poison. Again, these enemies are... They don't do that much damage. They aren't really that intimidating. They aren't placed in places where it's really going to hurt you. I don't know if I can beat this guy, actually. Not with this sword. Whoops. Okay, I'm good. Maybe I can move this. That's right. Okay, I can't move it until I drop the button right here. There we go. I'll make this work. See? Why did I do that? I don't know. Can we get out of here? Cry out. Okay, that was a bad move, Terrence. That was terrible. I got cocky. I mean, I told you the game's not that hard. I just got cocky. Okay, so where do I start? Let me just figure out where I end up. I'm probably gonna run out of time on this video anyway. Okay, I got 8 minutes. Wait, oh, don't tell me I didn't save. Just a second. File select. Oh my god, are you freak... Just a second. Did none of that save? Oh my god. Ah! I have to do all that again, huh? I said this game wasn't hard, was I? I'll come back later.